Let's return to This Week in America. Here's your host, Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast. This Week in America. The delightful children's book, The Window by Christa Tarpley, is about a frog named Teddy who lived in a small town and wanted to become king. Teddy did not consider all of the hardship and responsibilities that came along with kingship, but he only saw one thing, and that was becoming king and exercising his authority. He wanted to rule the world and show others what he could do. The Window expresses comedy and tragedy, along with friendship. A book of entertainment for children and adults as well. Christa's passion is writing, including poetry, spiritual songs, plays, and children's books. The Window awarded recommended designation by Workbook Press in their Literary Book Competition 2020. And author Christa L. Tarpley is our guest on This Week in America. Christa, welcome to the program. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking about this book. You've done such an excellent job, and we'll talk about Teddy and some of the problems he deals with during the course of the book. The book is called The Window. Tell us a little bit about Christa. A little bit of your background there and why you became so interested in writing.
Well, I am Christa Tarpley, and I live in Axton, Virginia, and I'm married, have 2 daughters, and I have a passion for writing. I enjoy writing, and most of the time, my inspiration comes at night or when I'm traveling. And so I was at work one day, and a young man asked me, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm putting a book together." I said, "I don't know if it's anything gonna come out of this book or what." He said, "Go ahead and try it." So I did, and I enjoyed reading the book, and I enjoy writing, and if I can help anyone else to overcome the trials, tribulations, and problems that they are having, that is my goal. My goal is to, because back in the day, I felt like that there was no hope for me. But when I started writing and reading what I wrote, that gave me inspiration. And I felt like by helping myself, and I could possibly help someone else.
Well, it's a good story, and I mentioned we'll go into some of the background on the story. The story is The Window. But just your story and what you're attempting to do and encouraging other people to develop their talent and not take no for an answer and get out there and express themselves creatively, which is what you have done. Christa Tarpley is our guest on the program. Christa, Christa, and Tarpley is Tarpley. You'll find the book available at the usual places at Amazon, the publisher, workbookpress.com. When did you get interested in writing? Was that at an early age?
Yes, it was at an early age. And I was just sitting at home, and all of a sudden words and ideas came into place. I said, "Oh, okay." But I think with my biggest thing was that all of my information, all of my guidance, all of my things that I needed to do, I think was coming more or less from the Lord, because I couldn't have never did this on my own. I putting the children's book together, that was really great for me. I saw my granddaughter, and I started writing. So I asked my daughter to just read this story to her and show her the illustration, because I drew all the illustrations, and I said, just show it to her, and I want to see her reaction. And she did, and by my surprise, she said, "Oh, I enjoyed that. Read it again." And so I went from there. I've written some more books, children's books, but I haven't published those yet.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to do that, because The Window is being so well received. The author is Christa Tarpley, our guest on the program. Book at Amazon, the usual places. We'll give that information as we go through our conversation here. What was the reason that you wrote the book? You mentioned the person that encouraged you to, oh, this is good. Go ahead, do this. What was it? Where did the story idea for The Window come from?
Well, there was a young man that, like I say, I work in the school system, and he was sitting there and he was watching me as I was putting everything together, and you know, I was just putting things together, and he said, "Well, what are you going to do with that?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just writing." And he gave me some encouraging words. That's what I like to do. I like to hear encouraging words from other people, and me giving encouraging words also. So he encouraged me to move on with my project, to see what happened. Because if you sit here and just sit on it, you'll never know what will happen to your project. And I said, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, and I've been writing for a while now. I love it. I love it. I love putting things together.
You know, and it's so true. Had you not done that, probably in the back of your mind throughout your life, you'd be thinking about, I wonder if I could have done that. Maybe I should have followed through, a few years ago when I wanted to write that story. And it's
Right.
interesting that you have somebody that gives you that encouragement to follow through. And you're doing that with other people by sharing your story. The book is The Window by Christa Tarpley, our guest on the program. You mentioned other books that you're working on. What are some of the other stories you would like to tell?
Well, I have another story about, you know, the mouse. That's the topic of the children's book, and it is about this young, what I call it the mouse, and he hit his head and had no idea, and he just went into a deep sleep. So he thought he fell into a big black hole. And so, and everything around him, it looked strange. Everything was huge, large, and everything. And he thought he was lost forever. And so, but his buddy found him. I'm just giving a little short version of it.
Yes.
But his buddy found him and said, "Man, we've been looking for you for a while. Your mother, she's worried about you." And he said, "But I've been in this black hole." And he went on to say, "What?" He asked him, "What black hole?" But to find out, to make a long story short, found out this young man needed glasses. And today, when people see things that's not there, it's more or less they need some type of
Oh, yes.
glasses, or something, get their eyes checked. And so that's the name of the story, the mouse.
I love that, and hopefully that will be available soon. The book is available. We're talking about The Window by Christa Tarpley. You'll find it at Amazon, the usual places. Go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and you can link on and get information on the book and order it there as well. Children's stories, are there any stories that you've written based on true experiences? Maybe a children's book based on something or something that happened in your life. Do you use some of what actually happens in your life to talk about in your stories?
Well, there's another children's book that, like I said, I haven't sent it to get it published. There's a young lady that people made fun of, and she just wanted to give up school life on her life. And this was a young child, and so there was she was sitting in the rain, and the young lady was coming down to walk, and she asked her, "Well, why are you sitting here?" She said, "Because no one care about me." And she asked her, "Why would you say that? I'm just a nobody." And this is true. This is true, but I wrote it as a children's book. And the young lady found out that in her way that the lady took us. Well, let's go talk. Let's have a real good conversation about you. I don't want you to ask me anything about me, any questions about me, but I want to talk about you. So she went on. She said, I don't dress like the others. I don't look like the others. They all make fun of me, and that's why I'm not doing anything. My grades are dropping and everything. So she went on and told us that, but there is somebody that do love you and care for you. And so they went on. They was talking, and the young lady, she got up to go to the restroom. She came back and she asked the lady, the waitress, what happened to the lady that was sitting here with me? She said, did she leave? Or did she go to the bathroom? And the waitress said, what lady? No one came in
Yes.
or no one left. She said, that was my only friend, the only one that I could talk to. And this young lady found out that it was an angel talking to her and letting her know that you are somebody. Don't let anyone disencourage you and say that you can't do anything. Yes, you can. All things are possible if you only believe. And this is true. And the young lady, she's doing great. She
Fantastic.
she she's doing better, and she's telling everybody, I am somebody.
That's
I
so
know
important.
who
Yes.
loves me, and I'm gonna move on. And I haven't published that yet, but it's a great story. I mean, it's not a nothing that I just wrote, but it is about this young baby that she was like this, and she's doing great. Like I say, in school, she's really doing great.
That's fantastic. And to tell a story as you do so well, and then have that story have meaning, it resonates so well with the young reader and with an older reader as well. I understand that what you were thinking about a story, something that happened to you and your daughter, a true life incident that you were thinking about writing about as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that. What was that story?
Well, my daughter and I, we were. This is also true. This is true. We were on a trip. We went to uh, a Christmas thing they was having for the young kids in school, and we missed our turn. So we end up near West Virginia, and you know,
Wow.
I I said I was going. I said the next signs that say go off, next ramp go off. I'm going off to see if I can get my way back home. But and while driving, this was this. It was all of a sudden that everything just it was no lights anywhere. There's no street lights, no lines in the road, and we were driving, and all of a sudden it just got really chill coldness, and the instead of seeing what was on each side of me, it was just like a deep fog, and every time I think about it, I just get teary eyed. But we drove 10, maybe 5 miles per hours trying to get to our destination. And I didn't know where we were. My daughter, she was crying, and I was trying to keep myself in check to make sure I didn't break down while she was crying and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
And but that was a really scary moment, and I have that story too.
So
But
many stories to tell, and the book that's published is available now. We'll watch for the others from Christa, but right now you can pick up a copy of The Window by Christa Tarpley, Tarplay. You'll find it at Amazon, workbookpress.com. The publisher copies available as well, all of the usual places. Time is going by quickly. I mentioned in the beginning, I want to touch on this here for a second, that you enjoy writing plays as well. Talk about why you enjoy doing that and maybe some of the experiences.
I enjoy doing that because I write plays during Christmas, and and you know They are really great plays, and some of them, they're emotional, and then some of them just a happy moment. And every Christmas, I wrote one now, and we going over it in November to make sure everybody knows what part they going to say and do. But the one I have now is memories. You know, a lot of people have memories of their loved ones and things that the loved ones did, you know, along the way, especially on the holiday.
Yes.
And those people are really missed. And it is a really good play, and I hope we can get through it without a lot of tears shedded.
Yeah, those are difficult times sometimes going through, and the memories you have to deal with. You
Right.
obviously enjoy writing. You've mentioned that's a passion of yours. What does writing do for you? What is it about writing that's so enjoyable for you?
Well, writing motivates me. It gives a reason to continue to do what I do. And when I'm depressed, writing boosts. And when I'm shedding tears, writing helps me to get through. And I feel like even though when I'm writing, it's comfort to me. And when I put it down on paper, then go back and check what I placed on that paper, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good, and then it it moves all that sad mood to a happy mood. So it just makes me happy.
Well, there's the feedback involved as well. One of your talents is writing poetry. What's that like writing poetry? Especially sometimes poetry can be emotional, and you get the feedback from the people who have been entertained or inspired, motivated by your poetry. What's that like when you get that feedback?
Well, when I get the feedback, there was a young lady. She was going through some hard times, and so and I told her, I said, well, read this one right here. I can't think of the name of it now. I said, well, read this, and she started reading the poetry, and then all of a sudden she stopped, and when I looked at her, her mother was hugging her. She was crying, and she said, "This is me." She said, "This is me." She said, "But I'll be all right. I'll be all right." And then there was another lady. She approached me. She said, "Miss Tarpley," she said, uh, "There's." I went through some of the book. I haven't read all of your poetry, but she said there was one particular poem in there that really got my attention, and I would like to use that in my church. I said, "Go right ahead. If you see anything you need to use, just go ahead." And she said, "Because it really got my attention." So, and that makes me happy to know that not only they're reading uh, the poetry, but something in there that is really helping helping that person, and then it makes me feel good, and it's helping me.
That has to be the ultimate satisfaction to your work when you get feedback like that, and
Right.
it's really makes an impression on other people. Minute or so left here. What do you hope to accomplish with the books? What is your goal? It sounds like you really want to continue writing. You should continue writing because of the talent that you obviously have. What do you hope to accomplish with your writing?
Well, with my writing, I hope to accomplish uh, to reach out.
Yep.
I want to
Yes.
reach out to know that. Well, I want to me. I just want to bless somebody else with my writing. Whatever you're going through, it could be a way out. Whatever is in that poem or in that children's book, it could be something that would help you through. Just like uh, the window. You know, Teddy, he thought he had friends. So it is with life. People think they have a lot of friends and say, I got your back. I got your back. But then when you get in trouble and you need help along the way, you look, you see no one. They're not there. But then there's those that's going to stay with you through thick and thin, regardless what happens. They're going to be there for you. So, you know, that is my point. I want to reach out. No matter what you go through, always somebody that's going to help you through. You know, and you may have one friend, you may have two, but those friends they're going to stay there to see you through whatever you're going through. So that's my goal, to, you know, to help those, to encourage them, to let them know that somebody's going to be there for you, and they're not going to leave you standing. Somebody will always be there to help you through whatever situation you may be going through.
You know, and that's what's so nice about what Teddy goes through, thinking that, you know, everybody's there for him. And suddenly he finds out what happens with friendship and those people that are there for him and those people that weren't there for him. It's all in the delightful children's book, The Window, by Christa Tarpley. Christa is Christa. Tarpley, Tapley. So if you're Googling, you'll have the correct spelling there. The book available at Amazon, the usual places, also from the publisher workbookpress.com. Christa, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. Sounds like many more books to come after the success of The Window. Hopefully we can discuss those as well. Thank you for being with us on the program. Congratulations on The Window. Continued success with your writing, and thank you for taking the time to share with us on the program today.
And thank you for inviting me.
It has been our pleasure. Christa Tarpley, Tarpley. The book is The Window. You'll find it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the usual places, and information on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. We're back on today's program after these messages.
This Week in America is online. You can visit our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Scott Pinkerton, Associate Producer of This Week in America. Jay Anderson, Segment Producer. Ben Watson, Webmaster. Otto Bechet, Director of Engineering and TV Production. This Week in America produced and is a trademark of Blue Funk Broadcasting, LLC. For information on all of our guests and to listen to this week's show, our website again at thisweekinamerica.us. And I'm Sean Bratton, Executive Producer of This Week in America.